have fishing tournaments. You know, we support Big Brother, Big Sister. We did the Truffle Shuffle this last weekend. We support the Northwest Steelheaders. They're going to take a bunch of kids out fishing. So we're just happy to be here, happy to have opportunities. There's a lot of good outdoor groups. You know, if occasionally maybe some of you might be on boards or councils or fundraisers, and I apologize if there's times that we can't support what it is you're doing, but it really is because we have a focus on outdoor education, conservation, and really getting the kids and beginners outdoors, whether it's hiking, fishing, camping, shooting, hunting. It's not all about guns and ammo. We have a very successful south side of the store, the soft lines and camping. We have one of the best footwear departments, the best optics department. So don't let the guns scare you. They're on one side of the store. And yeah, it's been a great year. We're kicking butt this year. I mean, obviously, if anybody is interested in guns, it's just wait a month or so.
We'll get some more in on it.
Yeah, so we're happy. We got a lot of good stuff going on, and sponsorships, and a lot of youth events going forward.
Okay, yeah, it's been great for the rest of the mall too. About the Village Inn.
It's October, so relatively new there. Although my wife and I have worked in this area since 2006. My wife's a librarian at the public library, so I've been downtown, for about 6 or 7 years now. And of course, I really enjoy my job. I was meeting with a couple people last night in the nonprofit world where you commiserate about where to find the best volunteers and stuff like that. And I was talking to one of them, a person I knew. I used to work for Habitat for Humanity, and I was talking to someone I knew there. And I said, I've never worked longer hours, but I'm also absolutely, thrilled and happy every day. And part of that's because I just see, a nice turnaround in the downtown area. 2006, which isn't that long ago, but it was considerably different. So I've seen that turnaround, and I'm really happy about that. I mean, you can't ignore Planktown ending up there is great. Obviously, Cabela's being in town. I mean, so when I applied for the job, I let the people know, like, hey, don't tell my boss this because this is the only job I'm applying for. I'm not looking for a bunch of other jobs, and I really wasn't. That was the only application I had out. I went after the job because it was downtown Springfield, and I liked the winds that I saw at my back, and that's what I've been doing. I also want to mention one other thing is, the museum, it's a small museum, so you're not going to get something like Mona Lisa there or something crazy like that. But the one thing you can provide, though, being a small, nimble museum, is being a lot closer to the community. So if you get a chance, come down to the museum and check out this month's exhibit. It's called February, and it's all about Springfield's relationship with the brewing industry. And when I did the exhibit, a whole bunch of it are first-hand quotes from the 1979 oral histories. And so they're first-hand quotes of people talking about the hop yards. This is, of course, 30 years ago, so they were talking about the 1920s, 30s, which is a real heyday of hops around here. And I want to continue doing that. So next month I'm setting up for that's March Madness, and that focuses on Springfield and basketball. So I'm talking to old players and coaches, and I'm getting first-hand stories. So if you have any good stories that is relating to the exhibit, come down, let me know. As the exhibits go on, we change things. So if I get like a great quote from someone, I'm the one who does the graphics there, so it doesn't take me long to put that into my template and put it up on the wall. But I want to encourage people to come down because it's changing, and I'm trying to bring it a lot more personal.
Where do you advertise, like, what your exhibit's going to be? Is it the Richard Guard? Is it on a website, or?
They're always in the papers, and the website is, we got lucky, springfieldmuseum.com. So you can always check that and see what the exhibit's going on. One other thing I'd like to say about the chamber, one thing I really like about it is, they're not, it's a nonprofit, but again, it's attached to businesses. So I get to I've met a lot of people through the chamber, and I get to kind of float things with them. We're thinking about adding either a trivia night or a trivia day. So now I'm talking to businesses like, hey, would it be better Friday night or maybe Saturday during the day? Where do we want more feet on the ground and stuff? So I like the chamber relationship as well, and into it as much as Habitat. I've done it a lot more here because we're all in it together, and I like hearing other people's thoughts and stuff.
Do you know Daryl Imhoff? You know the
No.
So he's not a, well, he's a basketball player. Let me just take 2 seconds. He's not a native of Springfield, but he played at the University of California. But he's been here for several years. He's been a Springfield Rotarian for 15 years. He used to be associated with the Basketball Academy up on the McKinsey for many years.
Yeah.
He's 6'11". He's a former Trailblazer, the year they won their championship. And he guarded Wilt Chamberlain the night he scored 100 points. But he also was a gold medal winning part of the 1960 Olympic U.S. team that went to Rome and won the gold medal. So he's alive, got all of his faculties, good guy.
Yeah.
And he can tell an interesting story about basketball in the Olympics and the pros. And he is an alumni of the Trailblazers and does stuff all over the place. So I can hook you up with him.
So yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, being a more active part of the chamber community and stuff, you get to hear things like that, and it's like, all right, there's another connection, there's another story that I can add to the exhibit, and you know, whether he played for Springfield High or not isn't the point. You know, they live in Springfield, they're part of our community, then I kind of want to hear the story.
Well, that's we have 3 ambulances, 18 EMTs in town, and about 10 rides a day we take off to the 2 fire departments, Eugene, and do doctor's appointments out of the emergency at night, so they don't have to call 911 all the time. That really puts a burden on. They have to do more staffing at a whole different higher level. Give you an idea, a regular ambulance with the fire departments, both of them, is about $1,500, and we're like $250. You know, $14 a mile for. And I think the big thing is when the hospital moved down over to Springfield on Riverbend from downtown at UD, that put a stress, a 7-mile loop on the fire departments. And with that, the fuel spiked at that same time, and so the city departments went out for bid, and that's where we came into town. So I think we're noted nationally. We have 10,000 employees, 3,000 ambulances. We're the 2nd largest in the country, but we're per Cabela maybe franchise. We're just a lot of flexibility for organs. So my boss is GM out of Salem. We have 14 ambulances in Salem, and the full 911 system there, as well as in all of San Diego, Phoenix, Tacoma, Washington. It's all rural metro around the country, Buffalo, New York, Tennessee. I think the biggest thing that we have been unique here in the town, Dan, is the chamber has there's a unique feeling in the greeters in our group. Jason, I gotta tip my hat to him, and then also to Katie and the education emphasis. Rural Metro was made nationally because of the EMTs and the feeder system we need with Lane. We have a good relationship with their program, but your education and your emphasis has really been striking to education, and that bids well for nurturing the future for all of us. So kudos on that. And we're glad to be part of the community.
Right. Well, thank you. I mean, you know, we are a unique chamber in as much as our dedication to education. It's not just a committee. It's events. We interface with about 1,600 students a year, and we have a big scholarship program. And you know, workforce is a big deal to any town. If you want to attract business, or you have to have a good workforce, we have challenges, and we have to face those challenges. So next week I'm meeting with Chuck Forster from Lane Workforce Partnership to see what we can do about raising graduation rates here. And nationwide we have a big challenge to fill positions. There are 38,000 high-tech openings unfilled in the United States right now. Cannot be filled with folks that are coming out of our own school systems and universities. So we have a big challenge, but it's a big opportunity too. I look at closing that gap and bringing some very high-tech kind of businesses here. We have, you know, the education basis here. It's interesting. We just started a Southern Willamette Valley partnership with OSU and U of O to talk about a governor's program that's the economic accelerator to take startups. Both colleges spin out the businesses. They don't all make them, but a lot do. They grow to a certain size and they go to Portland. We're going to try to hold them here. We're going to have to try to encourage them, and we're going to try to make some funding available for. First of all, you know, Bill has an idea. He doesn't know if it's really a good idea, so he needs an incubator. It needs to be tested. Then it needs to move into a phase where it's business ready, and now that's where a lot of things go off the track. He may have invented something with antigens or something. It's a wonderful thing to have, but he has no business sense. What's Bill going to do? Fail. And a lot of times that's the story. You get a couple of people, they're not all young people, but many times they're coming right from the college and going to a place and trying this out. Well, we're getting more success because it's recognized that at key moments, that is one to say, you might be able to invent something, but can you sell it? Do you have a market? And so there's a lot of things that are invented that's ahead of their time or that nobody wants them. We had a farmer at one of our membership breakfasts talking about what he could grow here in this part of the world because the soil is so great and the weather is good and the water is clean. He said, I grew 90 different kind of things, but I only could sell 5 of them. So it's real important to have a business sense. And so the governor's budget includes money to have a center for this kind of activity and then to foster it and going to market. Going to market is tricky, and you've got to be able to know what you're doing because your market isn't probably just going to be the people in the next town, but the people in the next country and overseas, so it's tricky.